What's up, y'all? So yesterday, Ebony Janice posted on her Insta stories, and if you are not following Ebony Janice, in the Free Black Girl Project, and just brilliant. She's brilliant and awesome and hilarious, and giving us Harlem Chronicles and living her best life. You should follow Ebony Janice. But she posted about the problem with, fundamentalist evangelical Christianity is this notion that, that it is a sin to love oneself. And so, there's this, disconnect from from oneself. And in order to fully love God, that you have to not love yourself. And I was thinking about the exact same thing. Actually, again, I was watching this docuseries, The Family on Netflix, which freaks me out because it's basically the Illuminati, and the New World Order, and Gilead coming into being, and all the things that I ever grew up listening to. It's creepy, but one of the things that I was struck by, right, because I listen to these people talk about Jesus, right, and then I look at their lives and I'm just like, I can't find no Jesus in you. I can't find, there is no Jesus in you. And that is exactly what I think the core issue is, one of the core issues with a fundamentalist evangelical Christianity, is that there is a separation from themselves and the divine, which means that they themselves see themselves as shame and sin and dirty, and see the divine, their worship of the divine, whatever as they see it, Christ, their worship of the divine as the continual attempt to mitigate that shame and sin and filth. The problem with that is that it means that in relationship, you will always be in a relationship of self-loathing. You will always be in a relationship that requires you to have to figure out how to validate yourself externally in a world, or in this case, validate yourself to Christ. And in the ways in which they've decided to validate themselves to Christ is by becoming rigid, these rigid, sort of dogmatic, violent, must be better than. The only way to validate oneself to Christ is to create people who are invalid to Christ, right? Again, it becomes a relationship of comparison. What radical self-love gives us access to, if we want to look at radical self-love as a theology, a spiritual practice, which I do, and other people are secular and do not, but I do. And in that spiritual practice, what I see is the divine in me. And biblically, that is in alignment. Biblically, it says that I was created in the image of my creator. And my creator is divine. So I'm created in the image of divinity, which means I'm divine. And so if I'm created in the image of divinity, then I don't actually have to achieve anything to be worthy in my creator's eye, because my creator made me worthy, right? I don't have to, my relationship to the divine is not conditional. My relationship to Christ isn't conditional. The whole purpose of redemption was that I would be redeemed to Christ regardless, right? Was to realign that relationship. It is not something where I have to constantly be proving myself every single moment that I'm worthy enough. God already knew I was worthy enough. And consequently, in Christian theology, sent his only begotten son so that I might have life and have it more abundantly. So I think that one of the disconnects that causes fundamentalist Christianity to be so harmful is that it is predicated on a lack of radical self-love. And as long as people are operating from a space of shame and judgment, there's no access to joy. There's only access to comparison. There's only access to where do I fit on this hierarchy of trying to redeem myself. And yeah, we can't get free that way, y'all. All right.